Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're taking a closer look at something you might not know a lot about: liquid copper. Now, when I say liquid copper, I'm not talking about the kind that plumbers work with. We're talking about a special form of copper that has the potential to impact our health and well-being in some pretty remarkable ways.
It's true, copper is often overlooked when we think about essential minerals, but it truly plays a vital role in keeping our bodies functioning at their best.
And we've got some really interesting source material here that dives deep into the science behind copper and its potential benefits.
Yes, and one of the things that really stood out to me was the role of copper in enzyme activity.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The source material mentions these things called cuproenzymes. What exactly are those?
Well, copper enzymes are basically enzymes that require copper to function properly. They're involved in all sorts of crucial processes in the body.
I see. So copper acts like a helper molecule, making sure these enzymes can do their jobs.
That's a great way to put it. For instance, one of the most well-known copper enzymes is called ceruloplasmin.
Ceruloplasmin, okay. What does that one do?
Ceruloplasmin plays a key role in iron metabolism. It helps to transport iron throughout the body. And without enough copper, this whole process can get disrupted.
So it's like copper is the key that unlocks iron's potential.
Exactly. And it's not just iron metabolism. Copper is also involved in the formation of blood vessels, maintaining a balance of hormones in the nervous system, even regulating gene expression.
Wow, so copper is a real multitasker. But what happens if we don't get enough of this essential mineral? What are the consequences of copper deficiency?
Well, that's where things can get a little tricky. Copper deficiency, while not incredibly common, can lead to a whole range of health problems.
The source material highlights some pretty serious consequences, actually.
Yes, it can manifest in a variety of ways, from anemia and changes in skin pigmentation to more complex issues like connective tissue disorders, bone problems, and even neurological issues.
It's amazing how such a tiny deficiency can have such far-reaching effects. I'm also seeing here that copper deficiency might play a role in issues like high cholesterol and high blood pressure.
That's right. Research is starting to suggest a link between low copper levels and these common health concerns. So ensuring adequate copper intake is not just about preventing rare deficiencies, it's about supporting overall health and well-being.
So how do we make sure we're getting enough copper? Well, that leads us to pureV liquid copper, a potential solution that's been making waves in the health and wellness world.
pureV liquid copper is not your typical copper supplement. It's categorized as a homeopathic cosmonutraceutical, which basically means it works in harmony with the body's natural processes.
Cosmonutraceutical.
Yeah.
That's a new one for me. What makes pureV liquid copper so special?
It's all about the formulation. pureV liquid copper consists of pure copper suspended in specially treated water. We're talking hydrovortexed, ozonated, and ionized water. And this creates an environment where the copper exists in an ultra-nanoparticle form.
Okay, break that down for me. What does ultra-nanoparticle mean in this context?
Essentially, it means the copper is in an extremely tiny form that your body can easily absorb and utilize. Think of it this way. If you tried to swallow a large copper penny, it wouldn't be very easy, right? But if that penny was broken down into tiny, almost microscopic particles, your body could absorb it much more efficiently. And that's what pureV liquid copper achieves with its ultra-nanoparticle formulation.
So it's like delivering copper in a way that your body can actually use.
Exactly. And there's another really intriguing aspect to pureV liquid copper, something called vibrational copper frequencies.
Vibrational frequencies, huh? That sounds a little out there.
It might sound a bit unconventional, but it's a key part of what makes this product so unique. These frequencies don't actually add more copper to the solution. Instead, they work by amplifying the effects of the copper that's already there.
Oh, so it's like boosting the signal, making the copper work even harder.
You got it. And when you combine this with the ultra-small particle size, you get superior penetration into the capillaries, the cells, and the tissues.
That's pretty remarkable. So with all of this in mind, what are some of the potential benefits that people have reported experiencing with pureV liquid copper?
The source material we have here highlights a wide range of potential benefits. First and foremost, pureV liquid copper is touted as a powerful detoxifier.
Detoxification, interesting. How does it support that process?
Well, for starters, it acts as an antioxidant, helping to neutralize harmful free radicals in the body. It also supports liver function, which is a key organ for detoxification, and it even boosts the production of glutathione, one of the body's most potent antioxidants.
So it's like giving your body's natural detoxification system a supercharge.
That's a great way to think about it. And beyond detoxification, pureV liquid copper is said to support collagen production, which is essential for healthy skin, hair, and nails.
Collagen, that's definitely something a lot of people are interested in. What else can pureV liquid copper do?
It's also believed to boost energy levels by supporting mitochondrial function, which is essentially the powerhouse of our cells, and it helps with ATP production, which is the energy currency of our bodies.
So it's like giving yourselves a shot of espresso.
Huh? You could say that. And the benefits don't stop there. pureV liquid copper is also said to improve mental clarity, reduce stress, enhance circulation, reduce muscle aches, and even support cardiovascular health.
Wow, that's quite a list.
Yeah.
But I'm sure our listeners are curious about the research behind these claims. Tell me a bit about the clinical trials that have been done with pureV liquid copper.
Sure. The research that's been done so far involved using blood microscopy to track changes in the blood after using pureV liquid copper daily. They followed two subjects, a 69-year-old male and a 64-year-old female.
Fascinating. So what did they find? Were there any notable changes after using pureV liquid copper?
There were some very interesting observations. For instance, the female subject showed a sustained improvement in circulation throughout the study, and there was a significant improvement in her sugar and fat digestion.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
What of the male subject?
He also experienced improvement in circulation, though it was a bit more variable. After 9 days, he had good circulation, but it returned to being minimal after 30 days.
Interesting. So it seems the effects can vary somewhat from person to person.
Exactly. Each individual's response to any kind of supplementation, even copper, can be unique. But the key takeaway is that the research does suggest there are potential benefits associated with using pureV liquid copper.
It's truly fascinating to see how something as simple as copper can have such a profound impact on our health.
It really is. And I think it speaks to the importance of understanding our body's needs at a deeper level.
Well said. Now, before we move on, I'm sure our listeners are eager to learn how to actually incorporate pureV liquid copper into their daily lives. What are the recommended dosages, and what are the different ways to use this product?
Great question. pureV liquid copper is incredibly versatile. You can take it internally or even apply it topically. The source material we have here recommends starting with a ½ ounce or 1 tablespoon daily for general well-being.
And what about if someone is feeling under the weather or needs an extra boost?
Well, if you feel a cold coming on or during flu season, you can increase the dosage to 1 to 3 pumps daily. And you can also use it topically on cuts or scrapes, which we'll discuss in more detail after a quick break.
So before we went to break, we were talking about using pureV liquid copper topically on cuts and scrapes. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. Copper is actually naturally antimicrobial, so spraying it on minor wounds can help prevent infection and promote faster healing.
So like a natural first aid treatment.
Exactly.
Okay, and we were talking about the different ways to use pureV liquid copper. We covered internal use, but what about topical applications?
Right. So the source suggests 1 or 2 sprays on certain areas, like the face, but of course with your eyes closed.
Yeah, wouldn't want to get that in your eyes.
Yeah, definitely not. And then also your wrists, inner forearms, behind the ears, inside the mouth, the bottoms of your feet, chest, behind the knees.
Wow, quite a few places. What's interesting to me is spraying it inside the mouth.
Well, that's because the mucous membranes there can absorb the copper much faster, so it gets into your system quickly.
That makes sense. It's like a faster route for the copper to get where it needs to go.
Exactly.
Now, we've talked about the potential benefits and how to use pureV liquid copper, but I'm curious about how it actually works on a deeper level. What makes it so effective?
Well, a big part of it is the unique way it's formulated. Remember, the copper particles are incredibly small. They're what we call ultra-nanoparticles.
Right, we talked about that earlier.
And that allows for maximum absorption and bioavailability. Basically, your body can easily recognize and utilize the copper in this form.
So it's like giving your body the copper in a language it understands.
Exactly. And then there's the aspect of vibrational copper frequencies. This is what makes pureV liquid copper different.
I remember you mentioned that earlier. It sounded pretty intriguing.
These frequencies, they don't actually add more copper to the solution, but they amplify the effectiveness of the copper that's already present.
So it's like fine-tuning the copper to resonate with the body's energy systems.
You got it.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It's like taking a holistic approach to copper supplementation, working with the body's natural energy.
Earlier, we were talking about some research that had been done with pureV liquid copper. You mentioned they use blood microscopy and also radionics frequency scanning. Can you remind our listeners about the main findings?
Yeah, so the research was a small study, but it did show some interesting results. The blood microscopy showed changes in the blood over time. The woman in the study showed a continual improvement in her circulation throughout the study, and she also had much better sugar and fat digestion.
So that's pretty positive, right?
Definitely. The man in the study also had improvements in circulation. At 9 days, it was good, but after 3 days, it went back to being minimal.
Huh. So it seems the effects can differ a bit from person to person.
That's right. Just like with any supplement, people can respond differently. But overall, the research suggests some real benefits from using pureV liquid copies. But it could actually mean that pureV liquid copy works more on an energetic level, maybe by influencing the body's biofield.
That's fascinating. So it may not just be about increasing copper levels, but enhancing how the body uses the copper it already has.
Exactly.
It's a whole new way of thinking about supplementation.
It is.
What do you think about the future of liquid copper supplements? Where do you see all this heading?
I think it's got a bright future. More and more people are starting to recognize the amazing benefits of copper. And as research continues, I'm sure we'll see all sorts of exciting new developments and innovation.
That would be really interesting. It's almost like copper is just starting to reveal its potential.
I agree. It's a really exciting time to be exploring this area of health and wellness.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive into the world of liquid copper. We hope you've enjoyed this exploration.
We sure have.
If you're intrigued by what you've heard today, we encourage you to do some of your own research. There are many resources available online. And of course, you can always consult with a qualified healthcare professional to see if liquid copper supplementation is right for you.
And most importantly, remember to listen to your body. Every individual is unique. What works for one person may not work for another. So it's all about finding what resonates with you and supports your individual needs and goals.
Absolutely. That's the key to a healthy and fulfilling life.
Well, until next time, happy diving.